Do you know everything about the Monon Railroad? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things that you might not know about the Monon Railroad. Let's get started. This is Sam's O-Gauge Trains and welcome back to another video. Now in today's very special video, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 facts that you might not know about the Monon Railroad. As an Indiana Hoosier, it feels wrong not to collect the Monon Railroad. And since I live in the state of Indiana, I kind of started dedicating my collection to collecting things that represented Indiana railroads, and the Monon was a big part of that representation. The Monon Railroad is typically a railroad that not a lot of people hear of or know of for that matter, and in today's video I hope to bring some light to the famous Indiana Railroad and kind of share some more railroad history for people who might not know very much about the Monon Railroad. The first fact is that the Monon Railroad had 9 RS type locomotives in their roster. The Monon Railroad was one of the first railroads to completely convert to diesel, and one of their most common diesels was the RS2. Now here in my collection I do have a RS3 locomotive, and the only real difference between the RS2 and the RS3 is that the RS3 had around 100 more units of horsepower, but for this specific video, showcasing my Monon RS3 as part of the video content, I feel that it accurately represents the RS2s that you would have seen on the Monon Railroad. Now this is the only Monon engine I have in my collection at this current point in time, but I do plan on getting many more in the near future, as Mr. Muffin's Trains does a lot of the custom runs with the Monon livery and paint schemes. It is pretty easy for me to pick up a lot of these Monon custom runs because he's the shop that's closest to me at this point in time. And he also does have an online website if you want to go check out all of his other Monon engines. And he actually does a really good job with these because they're not painted green like the Lionel model that just came out a couple months ago. One of my favorite things about this model is the paint scheme. There's just something about the black and the gold diesel gliding down the tracks. When World War II was in full swing, the demand for baggage cars was so great that the Monon Railroad acquired 7 heavyweight baggage cars from the St. Louis Car Company. Now the original cars were painted Pullman green and had gold lettering. The Monon Railroad repainted 3 of these cars in the famous gold and black paint scheme. With having this particular RPO car in my specific collection, it allows me to be able to expand the passenger train part of the Monon Railroad in my collection, and I'll be able to have a RPO car alongside some passenger cars that you would have seen on the Monon Railroad. The third fact you might not know is that the Monon Railroad actually had insulated box cars. The railroad acquired a couple of insulated box cars in the 1970s to meet shipping demands. The Monon acquired these insulated cars from the Fruit Growers Express Company. Any products that needed to be shipped in an insulated car would go in these insulated box cars that the Monon Railroad had. I also have one of these in my collection, and it's a great addition. It adds to the Monon fleet, and it was gifted to me by a good friend of mine, so you know who you are. If you're watching this video, I greatly appreciate it. Fact 4 is that the Monon Railroad was actually a victim of a funny prank. A couple of college kids, I'm assuming Purdue, because a lot of the Monon shops were located in Lafayette, Indiana, which is also where Purdue is. And I guess some of the boxcars were accessible to some college students, so they ended up defacing the N in the middle of the name Monon and painted a R over it to read moron. Fact 5 is that the Monon Railroad had piggyback trailers that could be seen on freight consists. Mr. Muffin did a custom run of these as well, and I had to pick them up for myself. The details on the trailer are up to par with the few pictures I've seen on the internet. Now it was hard to find some of these pictures, but I ended up finding them from the Malhan Edberhard collection online. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. I will leave a link to the website that I found these pictures in the description, as I really don't want to steal these pictures from a fellow photographer and Monon enthusiast. I love these piggyback trailers, and it's really cool to see one done up in the Monon livery. The details are up to par with the pictures that I've seen on the internet, and it's just a great piece. It looks really good running around the layout. Thank you guys for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this particular video on the Monon Railroad. Feel free in the comments to leave anything about the Monon Railroad that you might have to say, and I would love to read what you guys put in the comment section below. That is all from me today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.